Hello, hello.
Hello.
Are we live?
Can you hear us and see us? Back home?
Are we live? Okay, we're going to wait and see if we can see somebody say something in the chat.
Ah, that famous delay.
Yeah. Hola, Paul. Appropriate,
Hola.
Paul, that you are the first person to say hello.
Very good.
Can you
Hello,
hear what we are
Peter.
saying?
Very good. Hola.
Can you hear?
Yes, they're saying
hear
yes. I think we're good.
Hang on.
We can see and hear you. Very good.
Okay.
Woo!
Tell you what
a mission.
I need a glass of wine.
Or 6.
Yeah, or 6. Okay, we're going to take a moment and just decompress.
Yes.
I can't.
Hola,
I can't hear you.
Wow, that's going fast.
Okay. Woo! 200 people.
Ole.
We made it. There is nothing like live TV. I'll tell you what. Yeah. So I don't want to get a reputation for technical issues on live streams.
It seems like you like to have one.
I like to keep it interesting, guys. So what happened? And if you see us looking down, we're not sort of talking to someone down here. We have our computer here where we have the chat, so we're seeing what's going on. What happened? And actually, because we're new to this, live stream, not YouTube, but maybe while I'm talking, sometimes you can keep an eye on that and vice versa.
Yeah.
Just in case, you know. So what happened? So we are not in a beautiful wine shop. We're in a beautiful lounge. So it turns out that live streaming is a challenging business. As when we did the last live stream and there was screeching noise in people's ears. And so what happened is this time, we were all ready to go, but then the internet in the shop stopped working and we were running cables, trying to connect it all. And I was like, okay, at 7:30, we're going to call it.
Yeah.
And so and we're going to jump in an Uber and get back and set this up. So,
which is what we did.
So that's what happened. We're great. We would love to do a live stream from the shop. Mariano Madrueño, which I struggle to say. Can you say it?
I struggle to say it too, but listen to this. Mariano Madrueño.
Ole.
Mariano Madrueño.
Say it at home for us. Say it at home. After a couple of glasses of wine, you won't be able to say it.
I won't be able either.
So and we're going to tell you a little bit about who they are and what their story is as we kind of kick off, because it's fascinating and I really love it. And so as I say, if we glance down, we're looking at the chat. It sounds like there's a lot going on in there. Let me just kick off by saying that we have all the wines here. If you notice, there's a quality improvement. We're actually using our normal filming camera to do this live stream, and we've got lights behind here and everything, the full rig. The only thing we haven't got hooked up is the microphone, because that was just, I didn't want to test that.
Too much. Yeah.
So let's just do a quick pass. We're going to be tasting some cava. We're going to be tasting white vermouth. We're going to be tasting red. We're going to be tasting another red, and then we're going to be tasting sherry. And for dessert, we've got vermouth. Now, we're not going to start with the vermouth because it would kill our palates in a sense. So because we're going to be doing this in short sort of quick action. Let me just see what people are drinking. Let's get a little bit of, see what people are up to. I'm just going to have a look at the chat. We've got North Carolina, Canada, tal vez en el futuro, yes.
Ole.
Enrique, yes. I don't know, Enrique, I don't know your surname, but I'm assuming that's Kike there. Yes, we will do it in the future. California, Barcelona, why don't you read some of
from Madrid. I mean, there's people from all over the world, so that's pretty cool.
Tell us what you're drinking.
Nos vamos a poner piripi, someone says. We're going to get drunk. No, we'll try, to drink a lot of water as well. Have a Jack somewhere, actually.
I see. And a big welcome to the members. As always, thank you for all your support, for being a member of the channel. It means so much and it really, really helps us. So thank you for that. I see, I think it was Paul, you're drinking Roda Uno, which is a big wine. Good for you, Paul. We got Jersey, Primitivo here. We got some Italian wine going on in the UK. We're not judging. New York,
Who
hoping
are
to
we?
move to Valencia. We're actually looking at designing a course on how to move to Spain. So that's come out. Hello from Seattle. Andrew, good to see you. Mike, Gina, good to see you, Gina. You have a 2014 Rioja, but we know that already. All right. Shall I just start and just tell you, we've told you the technical issues. I know you're itching to get to the wine, but I want to tell you kind of how this came about. So what happened, this kind of ties into the story of Mariano Madrueño, the kind of the shop we were going to be filming in. And we will film in there down the line. And so a big hi to Kike, who is watching, who's I've been working with to get our wine pack together and things like that. And he's been doing an amazing job we're working together to make that possible.
Yeah.
So this I don't know if anybody's been to Need That Course. Evelyn, good to hear.
Very
we
good.
think it could be more fun to do some sort of course rather than a PDF because it's more interactive. And so Mariano Madrueño the shop started. I don't know if anyone's been there. It's in Calle Postigo, which is in the center of Madrid. And so they started in
sorry, super chat.
Oh,
V,
wow, V.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, V. Thank you for your support. So Mariano Madrueño started in 1875. They started in 1875, and they started as a distiller of liqueurs, and so they were making liqueurs. They didn't sell wine back then, and so they started selling liqueurs and making them themselves. And then they went through so much. So they went through the Civil War. The original Mariano literally had to go and fight in the war. And then when he came back to Madrid, his shop had become occupied during the kind of the chaos. And so he had to kick the people out of his shop, reclaim his shop.
Claim it back, yeah.
And then, kept going. And then in the 1970s, they actually saw that a shift in the market. There weren't so many liqueurs like anise and things like that being drunk, and they started to shift into wine. And so that's what they've been doing for the last, however, since the 70s. And obviously what's happened now is they really, their trade was obviously locals buying wine, but also restaurants and also tourists. So, we all know what happened to restaurants and tourists. And so one of the things that Enrique, who works at Mariano, he got in touch, and they were looking at saying how they could start to ship wine, particularly to the United States. That was kind of like the first thing they were trying to figure out, because that's always hard. And it's hard to get certain Spanish wines in the States. And so the next kind of phase in it, they're still operating. They have a shop in the center and one in La Latina in Madrid, is this buysherrywine.com, this website that they've put together to sell wines to the States. Now, hopefully, ideally down the line, we could be selling in other places as well. But that's kind of where this came about. Kike got in touch with me and said, hey, wouldn't it be great if we put together a wine pack with your selections, James, for like a holiday wine pack? We do a live tasting. And I was like, sounds amazing. Where do I sign up? So that's why we're here, 30 minutes late, but very, very happy to be here. So I've pinned a chat in the top that if you want to buy those wines, if you want to buy the pack, you can click there. We're running a sale at the moment for the next few days. It's $199 plus a little bit of shipping. It'll get there in about 3 to 4 weeks. And so if you're interested in buying for the States, once we go through, you can do that. If you're interested in buying from outside the States, we don't have that set up yet, but you can always drop us an email at james@jamesblick.com, and we can figure out and see if that's possible. So the link is up there. Use that link also to follow along. And one thing I would say, if you do decide to buy these wines to have them for Christmas, for the holidays, you can then rewatch this live stream as we go through the wines and talk about them.
Exactly.
That's a lot of talk, guys. I feel like I'm
know.
talking too much here. Should we start trying these wines?
Let's do it.
Okay, so
Can I start opening
yeah.
maybe that one?
You wanna start
I don't
opening
know
the cover?
how, sometimes it takes me a while to open.
while
cover.
Yoly's opening, I'm going to have a look at the chat. You got me guys already. Nice story. How much the shipping to the UK? Thank you, Esther. I don't have all those details on me because this is really what they call in the world of new products, minimum viable product. We only have the States. But as I say, I'm going to put my email in here. And if you want to drop us an email, James at jamesblick.com. Don't spam me, please. But you can, if you're interested in non-US shipping, send me an email and I can let you know what's possible. I want some cava. So do I. It says GMO.
Yes.
Liverpool, alcohol-free, though working tomorrow. Sounds good. And thank you for those super chats coming in, guys. Those are an amazing help. Melinda, thank you for that.
Now tell me how I should do this.
Anybody know how to open? Oh, I just get nervous.
No.
I get nervous when
I'm not shaking it yet.
I get nervous when I get nervous when people apart from me open cava bottles. Anyone else know how to open a champagne or cava bottle the right way?
I know, but
You've
you
already
need to
done something
remind
wrong.
me.
You're not supposed to take the cage off. You're supposed to leave the cage on.
Ah, there you go.
So
Can I put it back on?
maybe, not really.
It's okay.
I don't know. Okay, so here's how you open it. And I may be preaching to the converted here. I know there's some big wine fans out there. So when you're opening it, first of all, never point it at anyone.
No.
Because more people, I read this. Any Australians out there? I know there are. I read that more people die in Australia every year from sparkling wine cork in the eye than spiders. I don't know if that's true.
Oh, you wild people.
Okay, the key here, the crux of opening these bottles, do not turn the cork, turn the bottle. Because you need to keep control of the cork. So turn the bottle, not the... Hang on. You look
It's
like...
okay.
No. Stop. I'm nervous. Really got to grip that cork.
Yeah.
Okay. I get nervous.
And that's
turn the bottle.
And how does it need to sound?
Well,
What does it sound?
Jeff's telling us, have us a 40... Yeah, always have
I'm
the
holding the pressure here. I need to let it go.
It shouldn't make a big pop sound. It should sigh like a nun's fart.
Okay.
That is
Wow.
not a nun... Way!
That is not a non-fart.
Not the nuns that taught me at school.
But I got it open and all our 4 eyes are fine.
I've probably got a spider here about to bite me. But now you know a little bit about how to open a cava. James is terrified, says Tima.
The look on his face. I mean, he doesn't trust me.
Great tip from Natalie there. Put your palm on top. I think that's what it was. It was
okay.
very
No, but
kinda
then
like-
I was holding it.
Yeah.
Fine. Shall I then serve?
Paul says, what's the nun been eating? Yes, please serve. Okay, shake it first. So I want to... So this cava, and we'll hold the bottle up so you guys can see it, is from a Catalan producer. And you might say, well, that's obvious, James. But no, because not all wine comes from Catalonia. About 90% does. So let me hold that up and you tell me if it gets, you can see it down here, Yoly. You tell me if it gets in focus.
Not yet, but I can come around, maybe.
Hide your face.
Let's see.
There it is. Got it.
Yeah?
Got it. Yeah. So there it is. Okay. So cava is generally, I didn't even know what the word is for this, but it's the only wine in Spain that does not necessarily have to be made in a certain place in terms of having a regional description. Most of it is made in cava. This is from Penedès, and it's from a producer. Penedès is just inland from Barcelona. Alsina and Sardà. Bueno, Alsina... Is Catalan E? Is and in Catalan E?
Yes.
Alsina,
yeah. E like a E Latina.
E Latina.
E.
Alsina y Sardà.
Sardà.
So that these guys have been making wine. There it goes back to the mid 19th century. And cava, as I say, is made in Extremadura as well. It's made in, I think, Valencia as well. But most of it comes from Catalonia. Now, I'm curious to know, does anybody know the difference between cava and champagne as we kind of start to sip this? We live right in cava region, says Jim.
Vale.
So what's special about these guys is this cava is a Gran Reserva. And what I love about a Gran Reserva is that it has been aged for about 36 months in the bottle. So I don't want to get wine boring here. That is the kind of tastings I hate to give. But when you make cava and champagne, it's the exact same method. You make a white wine, and then what you have to do is you ferment that wine, you make a white wine, and then you add a little bit of yeast to that white wine, and you put a beer cap on it, a beer cap. And then the second fermentation happens, which creates bubbles inside. And then what happens is then you have to, and then they age it. And then before then kind of bottling it finally, they pop the beer cap off. You lose a little bit, they top it up, and then you put a cork in it. It's the exact same process with champagne. Prosecco is made in a different process. Prosecco is made with adding gas to a wine. It's not made through a fermentation wine. I'm not going to hate on the Italians here. That is not my...
Exactly.
That is not my...
No.
And Falmas has said, yes, exactly. The main difference is the grape and the geography.
Thomas is very right. He says, Yoly seems more interested in drinking the cava than the explanation. Yes.
Is that, are
You're
you
totally right,
speaking
Thomas.
for yourself there, Thomas, as well? So the grapes here are a classic cava variety. Charelot, Macabeo, and Parrillada
Yeah.
are those grapes.
You got it right there. Jim also said.
Nice
mentioned.
one, Jim.
Yeah.
Champagne may be a name from exactly. So cava, and cava generally is less expensive than champagne. It doesn't have the that same kudos, but also champagne is a cold region. In Spain it's warmer, so you get riper grapes, a little fruitier. So should we give a big toast to everyone?
Ole, salud.
Let's knock our glasses together. Merry holidays. Did you even say that? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Merry holidays. You don't say that? Lovely to have you here.
We're also celebrating the birthday of
yes.
a follower who is very, very special, Jose Taberville, and it's his birthday today. So
happy birthday, Jose.
Feliz cumpleaños. Ole, here's to you.
Jose and Cheryl have been following us for a long time, and they've been a massive support. So salud to you, Jose, and salud to you both. And so I want to just get a question in here. Yoly, I know you probably want to have a sip.
No.
Why do they put?
Not at all.
Why do they put cava wine bottles underground? Why do they do that, Yoly?
Cava wine bottles underground for the temperature.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna age something, exactly. No, it's true.
Okay.
Cava means cueva, means underground.
Yes.
You're gonna age something. And same with champagne. You're gonna put it in a cool place. You don't want it exposed to the sun.
Exactly.
So, all right, let's have a sip.
So cool and dark
Well,
place.
we should smell it first. This is a wine tasting.
Yeah. After all, yeah. So let's see the nose.
Smells like
Is that
holidays.
what you see? Is that what you say?
You talk about the nose. This is super informative, and cava is miles better than champagne.
Ole,
Exactly, Johnny.
right on.
And thank you for that super chat, Johnny. While you're sipping, Yoly, I'm going to check the. What do you smell?
I smell bolleria. I smell
Bolleria.
What is that? Like
Baked goods.
Baked goods. Yeah, like buns and things.
Buns.
Yeah, sweet.
Buns
sweet,
inspector.
But the sweet in that way of like bread, like yeast, right?
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Great little tip here from Falma saying fermentation for the yeast is better done in lower temperatures. Exactly. And we're going to talk about temperature a little bit. I do want to cover that. Risk of explosion. Yes. All right. Should we take a sip?
Yeah.
Same time?
Yeah. What do you get?
Yeah, sorry. I was avoiding that because I get nervous.
He doesn't trust
I
his
get
nose.
green apple. I get freshness. It's lovely. It's crisp. And bolleria. And a little bit of... what guys, smell your wine. We'll talk about the swirling. Let's have a sip.
Yeah.
Tell you what. I needed that.
Can we do that?
We do that.
Okay.
But let's talk about... We should talk about that now?
Later.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about the
So many
sucking later.
tips, you know,
Now I need to
in
get
a
my
row.
hands on cava. V, you do. Thank you for... Prost is another comment
Prost.
there. Thank you for that super chat, V. So yes, so this is delicious. So this is... I would have this to... I mean, let's talk about how cava is drunk in Spain, right?
Yeah.
This is really, really yummy. And the bubbles are very fine, which is nice. You can tell a cheap sparkling wine because it has big bubbles. The finer the bubbles, the better, generally the better quality it is. It generally means it's been aged for longer, it's become more elegant. So how would you say, well, shall I say how cava is generally drunk in Barcelona? And maybe you can tell us how it's drunk in Madrid.
In the rest of Spain.
In the rest of Spain. So in Catalonia, where most cava comes from, cava is generally drunk as it's kind of
wine.
drunk all the time.
Yeah,
It's
another wine.
Yeah, it's another wine. You will go and you will see, people having cava at a market stall, in late morning and things like that. It's a really everyday common drink and celebratory, but a really day common drink. In the same way, if you go to Champagne, the region, and you go to an old man bar, you'll see guys just sitting there drinking champagne. Like you'll see just normal people. It's not all like classy people because it's the local wine.
Yeah.
But it's different
Very, very
in other parts of
straightforward.
Spain, right?
Yeah,
While I'm
so-
taking a sip.
In the rest of Spain, really, it's not a wine for us so much. It's a celebratory wine, and it's really only drunk at Christmas. Of course, you can find people all around the country that have a thing for cava and might have a cava always in their fridge. But generally speaking, we drink it at Christmas, and we cannot drink it incorrectly in the way that there is a lot of sweet stuff out there, right? Like it's not Brut, and Brut Nature is not the normal thing. Usually it's these brands called Contador and Freixenet.
Yeah, but they
There's
do
a lot of that.
a Brut Nature.
They
as
do
well.
a Brut Nature, but a lot
Yeah.
of people will go for the other stuff because they think it's just,
Semi-seco.
they just think it's too dry otherwise.
So I'm always a bit disappointed. I hope Yoly's family are not watching this live stream. I don't think they are. I'm a bit disappointed when we have Christmas at Yoly's family because the cava is always a bit sweet. So this guy is this you'll see on the front says Gran Reserva. It means it's been aged for years. It's delicious. It's celebratory. But you'll also see Brut Nature. Let me see if I can hold that up again.
Let me see.
I don't know if you can. Here it is.
Yeah.
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 So you see that kind of. Got a
Brut Nature.
I got to put it in front of my face.
Yeah.
Can you hide your...
disappear.
Yeah. It's not working.
I think I can do it. I can just tap on the screen.
Can you? Okay. I didn't know you could see the screen.
Yeah. It's there. It's right there.
Okay. Brut Nature.
Yeah.
So, man, that was stressful. Need another drink after that. So, Brut Nature means that, you know, when you, so when they have the wine and they take off the beer cap and they top it up a little bit because you lose some, it's literally someone's job to pop off the beer cap and top it up a little bit and put the cork in. They don't add any sugar at that point. So this is super bone dry. It's not sweet at all. I hate that stuff. I'm sure there's some good stuff. I like sweet wine sometimes, but not sweet cava. So this is delicious. I want this at Christmas.
It's very, very yummy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think my parents are going to buy it, so...
And we're not going to take this because it'll have lost all its bubbles by then.
We need a new bottle.
We need a new bottle.
That's the conclusion.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Right.
keep this rolling. While you're pouring, I'm going to... And little tip, if you are tasting, I'm going to sip this, but you can always pour a bit of wine in here.
Water.
Water in here. Water and wine, what's the difference?
Mm-hmm. Can I have some water, please?
You may have some water.
Just to rinse it and also drink it. It's kind of nice to have that hint of wine in your water.
Exactly. Hint of wine in your water. I'm just seeing, I have notes here just to make sure we're covering the right things. So yes, exactly. Note here, Christmas at Yoly's house. Mention that. So we talked about that.
Yeah.
I love Christmas at Yoly's family. All right.
I do love it.
Cava done.
Right.
Delish. We're kicking off with that. Normally, if you were having Christmas, or like a holiday meal, you would start with your vermouth. We're going to have that last, as I mentioned, because it's sweet and that will just overpower everything. And then you would hit your cava as like just the perfect... I mean, here's what I would do. I would make gildas, which are little pickled peppers, anchovies, and red pepper, little kind of skewers from the Basque country, and I would pair it with this. That is what we're doing at your family's place at Christmas. All right, it's decided. I'm making the gildas.
And you're doing the little, dessert.
Yes, cava. And I'm also making cava dessert. While you're opening that, Yoly, and pouring that, I'm going to type in gilda in here and just check up on the question. So, by the end of the live, you'll be downing it. Is Madrid more wine or beer drinkers? Well, I would say, and we will be answering questions, guys. We may not get to all of them, but we'll be going through, as Yoly's pouring the wine. Good that James can't turn water into wine. I wish I could. That would be my ticket to ride, Mike. So is Madrid more wine or beer? Big beer drinkers here. I mean, it's true that when you go to Barcelona, there is a much stronger local wine tradition because Catalonia has several wine regions. You know, Spain has 60 odd wine regions, and Catalonia has several of them within there. Madrid is a wine region. We're going to get to that, but not quite yet. Let me just see if there's any other questions I can answer.
Matt says gildas are a great match for cava. Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
Jose says Cheryl sends big hugs. Okay. And E. Mitch says you're both lovely as host and hostess. So much fun. Thank you. Because I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to be brutally honest. It's sometimes because I'm used to talking to the camera. Used to talking to the camera when it's recorded, but when it's live, you're kind of like you're drinking the wine, you're looking at the chat.
It's a lot of multitasking, and you're incredible.
Fun.
You're incredible with that. Yeah. Why not? He says that's believe it.
Do you have any favorite producer or grape variety? Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to talk. I always like to support Madrid wine, but what's up next, Yoly? So we are going white. I'm going to hold this up. Do you want to make sure that you want to do the camera magic? The camera person? Can I just give a call out to the fact that we have 427 people on this live stream?
Yeah, I was wondering. Right. Juan Gil Jumilla.
Juan Gil.
Right there. Very good.
Okay, we got it. Woo-wee! All right. Live chat is fun. It is fun. It's fun for you, Jose. It's nerve-wracking for us. No, it's fun. I think the only way we can do live chat is if it's a wine tasting, so it takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
Don't get drunk.
To be all like that, yeah?
He's saying don't get drunk. I've had like that much cava. Don't worry. I'm a very responsible person. Okay, so now I believe Matt, who is a member and is always on our members' live streams and is a teacher in the States and is very knowledgeable about Spain. I think you might have mentioned, Juan Gil, that you had a monastrell there from Juan Gil. I think it was Matt. I don't think it was Paul, Fanático de Vino. But so when it comes to this producer, Juan Gil, I seem to get all the hard ones, right?
Juan Gil.
How do you say Juan Gil?
Juan Gil.
I'm doing Juan Gil.
Yeah,
not
you're
Juan
mixing.
Gil.
Juan Gil.
Yeah, I'm
Gil.
getting it wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do
It's
that
okay.
language one. Yoly said it's okay. So when it comes to Juan Gil, they are famous for... This is from Jumilla. Oh man, it's like Juan Gil from Jumilla.
He's drunk already.
I'm drunk on the language. I'm drunk on raw.
Juan Gil from Jumilla.
I'm going to wake up having pulled all the muscles in my throat. So Juan Gil from Jumilla... I literally sound like I have an issue speaking. So Juan Gil from Jumilla is actually a place in Murcia. Now we're on to the and so that is just south of Valencia. They are very famous for making their monastrell or their we call it monastrell in Spain. There's a French Mourvèdre is the other name for that grape. And this is a very hot region, but I didn't know this. And Kike, again, big shout out to Kike. He introduced us to this, that they make a moscatel. Now, when you think moscatel, you're probably thinking sweet wine, potentially. Yeah. You know, Malaga is famous for its sweet moscatels, where they leave the grapes on the vine and they pacify. They turn into raisins, and then you make the wine from it. But this is dry. This is dry. Yeah. And so it's 100% moscatel. I'm going to see if I've got any notes here. I don't think I have. I was just blown away by this. This would be perfect with seafood at the beginning of you don't have to have all of these in one holiday meal, but this would be with fish or something like that. Do you want to do the smelling first?
Let's see.
And then you can tell us why we spin. No pressure.
I get tropical fruit.
Ooh.
Booyah.
Super taster. Super smeller.
Mango. I get mango.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh.
And like peach.
So citrus, stone fruits.
Citrus
tropical
a little
fruits.
bit as well. Yeah.
So why do we swirl, Yoly? To be
I'm
pretentious?
gonna have a wild guess, and yeah, that's just to really look chic. My
Is that
second
cheap or
guess,
cheek?
chic.
Chic.
And my second,
if I was Juan Gil, looking chic.
chic. My second guess would be to aerate it, aerate it, right? So that there is like oxygen, and so that all the smells come out, right?
Exactly.
Not smell. Smell will be bad.
Aromas. Smell has a certain connotation. Olores.
All this stink.
The smelliness.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you'll see people, often they'll look pretentious. We don't have massive wine glasses, I'm afraid, so we can't go crazy with the swirling. But the reason you do that is because you're going to aerate the wine, and if you're tasting the wine, part of the joy of drinking wine is smelling it. It's part of the process, right? Yeah. Really slow it down, and if you have a decent wine, if it smells terrible, it's probably going to taste terrible.
Sometimes I actually rather smell it than taste it.
That could be a thing, right? Oh no, I don't drink wine. I just smell it. Yeah, can I just get? Yeah, and then you smell it, and you leave it. That could be a thing. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of those fruits.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
And what I quite like is often Moscatel.
Sorry. No, and then you need to stop all that swirling. You need to make it stop before you drink, I think, because it doesn't do anything. So it's better to just have it like resting, right?
Well, the fact that it's swirled, what you're saying is it won't make it taste better.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Like no swirling for drinking.
Exactly.
Also, it would be a bit kind of like dangerous.
That would, it'd be like, like a sea,
Okay. ¿Cómo es en boca?
I really love this wine, guys. You might have heard that sucking. Again, you don't have to do that in a bar and sound like a freak. When we're sitting in bars, we don't do that. But again, that will aerate it and will mean that you will taste it more fully. I would say that, it's lovely. It's really perfectly balanced.
It is gorgeous.
I would say that in the mouth, in the mouthfeel, the flavor of this, the taste of this is very similar to the nose.
Yeah.
Citrus, stone fruits, peach, tropical fruits, the whole bit. And
I do get a bit more of the alcohol when I taste it.
A little bit more. That's true.
Than in the nose.
Wet your whistle a little more. But what is lovely about this is sometimes dry moscatels can be like almost over perfumey. Even if they're dry, they're over perfumey. Right. And I don't like that. This is really impressive.
Yeah, because it has the acidity as well there, and it's really, really cool.
If you've just joined, guys, remember, I've put at the top of the whatever it's called, the
comments.
Chat area. There's a pin thing where you can click to see the list of wines that we're tasting. You can see a bit of information about them. And if you're in the States, you can also buy them and they'll be shipped to you. So
It's
just
incredible
if you're joining.
because you would never think. Sorry, I spoke
Yeah.
on top of you.
Little what is it?
Microfeminismo.
Microfeminismo.
You would never think this is Moscatel. Like,
No.
wow, like, are you kidding me? No, this can be, and it is, and it's great. It's very interesting. I find that, very interesting how grapes can behave in different manners, right?
It's beautifully made. I really, really love this. I'm just going to catch up on some
We're
still...
almost risking finishing this glass, but we shouldn't.
Do you think we shouldn't?
No.
So I'm just looking. I'm looking. Gina, muchas gracias. Thank you so much for that super chat. I'm just going to do a little. Jeff made a great comment that your sense of taste is mostly through smell. That's totally true. So if you do this, you taste nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Fidoville, thank you for your membership, Fidoville. One time my brother was trying to show off swirling red wine and it managed to escape all over the white tablecloth at a nice restaurant. I couldn't help... Totally. I mean, that happened to the best of us, right? All right.
Absolutely.
Okay, and to check the legs. So, Jose, you mentioned the legs. We'll get onto that on the reds because I'm not so big on the whole legs thing.
Legs?
I don't think it reveals as
Is
much
that the
as...
lagrima?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just sort of going here. What do you plan to do with all that wine? Maybe you should check into a Coravin. Coravin is the thing where you can seal the wine and you can serve it without actually opening it. I don't know what we're going to do with it. So, guys, come on over. We've got 6 bottles that we have to... So JD said people smell wine to be sophisticated. I mean, that too, but it does serve. Can you guys mention the prices? So Kyle, so I don't have the prices here around the world or in Madrid actually on me. But if you are in the States, actually, I don't even have the prices. I don't have the individual prices, I'm afraid. So it'll just depend on where you're getting. Most of these, I believe these wines aren't readily available outside Spain. So the price for the pack in the US is $1.99 plus a little bit of shipping. It's about $50 shipping. But as I say, and I think somebody else mentioned, can we get them in Madrid? If you're curious about getting these wines locally, then send me an email. My email is james@jamesblick.com. And I can see what's possible.
Awesome.
So Jose said, site keeps saying cart empty when trying to purchase your Xmas wine pack. So Kike, if you're watching, someone is trying to buy Jose and it says that the cart is empty. I don't know if that's maybe not 100% using it.
And then I think the site is
That was
not
Jose.
quite. Yeah, no, there was another one. It's kind of like might be a lot of people trying to buy it. Like it's not quite working.
If you're having trouble buying for any reason, this is, as I say, we're doing this for the first time. If something's not quite working there, send me an email, james@jamesblick.com, and we'll sort it out.
Right.
So,
and thank you for purchasing it.
Thank you.
And
That's
enjoy
amazing.
the wine.
Yes, I got past that and I was suddenly onto the practical side. So if you're having issues, we have sold some already. So it has been working. Maybe it's crashing because of the quantity of people. I don't know. Okay. We've overloaded the site. Yes, you may have. If you're really keen on this wine, we'll get it to you. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
james@jamesblick.com.
Totally.
All right. Should we move on?
Yeah. Bye. Bye-bye, Jumilla.
Bye-bye, Jumilla. Ooh.
So lovely.
We're being responsible, guys.
Some more water?
Some water. This is delicious. This is great. All right. Okay. So often when you do this, the idea is actually to swirl it, to clean it out, then tip it. But I drink the water because there's a little bit of wine in there, and also that's a way for you to hydrate, right?
Of course. While you're drinking alcohol, which you should always alternate a glass of wine and a glass of water. That's an excellent technique, yeah?
So Jorge says, it says cart empty. Thank you for that. Not sure what's happening there. Please don't put water in your wine glass. I mean, that is true. That is true. I mean, yeah. Sorry, Jeff, you're right. We should actually use the next wine to clean it out.
Yeah.
We're doing it wrong. Okay.
Well, that's kind of
You're right, Jeff.
where we are.
You're right, mate. We're gonna do that from now on.
Next was Madrid, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, we're coming home. We're coming home.
Woo! So excited.
All right.
Las Retamas. Shall I pour it and then we'll talk about it?
Let's talk about it. I'm gonna send a message to my colleague just to see if he can get the site working, and see.
Beautiful color on this one, actually. We need to talk about the color too.
We do.
Yeah.
All right. I'll leave it with Yoly for
This
2
is,
seconds.
Beautiful wine from Madrid. Just love it so much. Let me show it to you guys. That's
Shall I hold it up and you go
Retamas.
around? So Madrid, put your hands up if you have had wine from Madrid before. Have you got it, Yoly?
Yeah, las Retamas from Bodega Regajal. Yeah, very good.
We got a birthday here. Whoop! John Smith. John Smith is a great name.
Yeah, I
It was
know.
John Smith who came over and set up one of the first colonies in the
in
United
New Zealand.
States, right?
I was gonna say New Zealand.
Not in New Zealand.
And also a great name for trainers.
What kind of trainers?
John Smith. Don't you know? Like a brand. It's a brand for like
Shoes.
shoes.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah. Sneakers.
Oh, wow.
Trainers.
Yeah. Is it sneakers or trainers, guys?
John Smith.
John Smith. Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday.
Hope you're having a great one. Great to have you here.
Salud.
Glad you've decided to join us on your birthday. We are humbled and we appreciate it. So, Madrid. Wine from Madrid. So, way back when, 10 years ago when I moved to Madrid, there was not a lot of talk about wine from Madrid. Madrid has a really long wine tradition. We've been making wine here. You know, kings of Spain used to drink wine made in Madrid, but it kind of not that it fell out of favor, but it didn't really have a good brand. And so you would go to a wine bar in Madrid or a bar, and there would be Rioja and Ribera del Duero. And
It still happens.
happens all the time.
Yeah.
You're seeing more and more wine from Madrid now, and Madrid is actually the wine is made to the south and to the west, and for the wine that comes from Madrid, it's actually been in the New York Times, Madrid wine, particularly the stuff made to the west as well. It's like really getting famous. And this is probably the first Madrid wine that I really kind of fell in love with. It is delicious. I feel like some of you might have tried it before. It's from this bodega, this winery called El Regajal. They're in Aranjuez. That is about half an hour
to
the
40
south?
minutes. Yeah.
You can visit this winery. We haven't been. It's always been on my long list short list, but that kind of got long, which I don't think I have a short list. And so we really want to visit. The bodega the winery is in a butterfly sanctuary. And so they made this wine, which is called Las Retamas, and you can see those butterflies that reflects where it's made. And it's a really interesting blend. And I'm going to have to read this because I can never quite get it right. Let me find the list here. So this is a mixture of Tempranillo, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Petit Verdot, and Syrah. And so it's a really delicious blend. It's a really interesting blend. The wines from Madrid that are made to the south, literally you can get to some of the nearest wineries, or I think there's one in particular on the metro. Metro. And the enoturismo, as we say in Spanish, the wine tourism is growing here. So I would love to do more with Madrid wine tourism at some point in the future. So you can get to the south and you can get out to the Gredos Mountains to the west. And they're really, really good. So I am obsessed with these guys. And this is a big, juicy, yummy wine. This is like with your holiday meal. So should we talk about the legs thing, Yoly?
The legs, the lágrima. Someone said, what an interesting name. I mean, yes, because lágrima, tear in Spanish. I guess a tear always leaves a trait, right? Like the mark there.
It's a nicer name in Spanish than in English.
It's a nicer name, very romantic. Tear, lágrima.
So question for you, Yoly, put you on the spot.
Uh-oh.
Do the lágrimas, the tears or the legs, mean anything to the quality of a wine?
No, nothing. Or I don't think it does it. Maybe not the quality, but maybe the age. Nothing. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
This may be wrong, and I can tell that there's some really knowledgeable wine people in here. Sorry, my eyes just got. Hang on.
Teary.
Big shout out to the Babbitts. They live in Madrid, and they have all of these wines. You guys are amazing. They've been on Devour tours. Jen and Harold Babbitt, you guys are amazing. Thank you for your support, and it's so exciting that you're here.
I went with them as well in the flamenco tour.
Did your flamenco tour?
Yeah, wonderful.
And they sent us an email, and they have all the wines, and they're drinking along with us. So that's
good on you.
Super amazing.
Really cool.
So here. I feel very cheerful seeing you guys, says Rocky. Thank you for that. You sure it's not Stan Smith? I don't. That's like.
I think it's Stan Smith. Yeah.
Who's Stan Smith?
John Smith. I was talking about John Smith. It was Stan Smith.
Okay.
Maybe.
I thought you were saying it was actually Stan Smith's birthday, not John Smith. Like, no, I saw him. He's here. It's his birthday. Ines, thank you very much for that super chat. It's John Bosong in the same neck of the woods. I'm lost now.
So Jimmy says not the quality but the sugar content.
Well,
right?
Here, Jimmy, that's interesting because, and I don't profess to be an expert on this particular thing. I have read that it's reflective of the viscosity of the wine, which is reflective of the alcohol content. And more sugar generally means more alcohol. But I can see how a sweeter wine that has more residual sugar could leave more legs. But maybe it's that alcohol and sugar cause viscosity. So it's not telling you, it's giving indications of what the wine is like. So this one has, in terms of alcohol content, here he goes searching
15.
for it. 15. So it's quite a lot, right? But it's not telling me it's good necessarily, but it's giving me an indication of something. It's telling me there's alcohol there, or potentially there's sugar.
Alcohol-sugar balance, maybe.
There's a lot of chat about, what's not romantic about legs? Good point. Yeah.
Depends on whether they're beautiful legs or not, maybe.
Bit Cam super chat. Love you guys. My heart is in San Sebastian. Want you how to move video. Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's coming. Yeah. It's coming. We're gonna do an online course, we think.
Yeah. So it's gonna be several videos, many videos.
Yeah. Okay.
Shall we go for the nose?
Do the nose. Can you kick it off? I love to put this on Yoly while I just hang out in the comments for a while.
Woof, hard. I'm getting berry, but I don't know whether it's red or blackberries.
Maybe it's both.
Red. I would say it's red. Red berries. Am I getting red berries?
All right. Shall I step in here?
Yeah. It's beautiful. I love this one. I mean, I think it was the first one that we kind of discovered, in like Madrid region.
Yeah.
And it was like,
well,
wow,
these guys kind of kicked off. I think I haven't noted here.
Yeah.
They started in 1998. I feel like these guys really kicked off the kind of the modern wine movement in a lot of ways in Madrid. 14 months in French oak. I smell red and blackberries.
Oh.
It's just lush. It's luscious. It's juicy.
Yeah.
Should we have a sip?
Yeah.
Getting thirsty. All this chat.
I know. And we're not drinking. Almost. Apenas. Ooh.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
You also get the acidity away as well, yeah?
Yeah. You might wonder what Yoly's doing right now. So if you want to check... Suddenly it's like...
I was almost dribbling on the lovely tablecloth.
So if you go... Big shout out to the tablecloth. We've never used this tablecloth. We bought it in Lisbon 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And we
needed the excuse.
So when we got into the Uber about, an hour ago, and the guy was like, "You guys in a rush?" And I was like, "Yes, but be safe."
Be safe, because he went like boom on the accelerator, and actually one of our stands went like boom. And yes. I was in the Uber, connected through the mobile phone to the laptop, chatting with you guys in the live stream, saying we're going to be late. It was very, Don't you love modern world?
Modern technology, and so we got here, and so Yoly has spent the day. Those of you who know Yoly know that she is building all the furniture that we buy.
I am a builder.
So finally, after 6 months, our wardrobe arrived. The entire lounge was a disaster zone.
It was taken by pieces of wood and tools and all sorts of things.
And we got in here, and boom, Yoly took care of that. I set up some of the gear, then we combined. Yoly laid the tablecloth, and here we are. So it's good. This is good.
Yes.
What we're saying. So So when you want to check the acidity of a wine, let me stand up for this. So hang on, I feel very awkward now.
Yeah, you can just do it sitting. There you go.
So if you want to check the acidity, have your mouth open, facing down, and you will salivate.
Yeah.
And you will salivate. And if you're salivating, that will show you that the wine has good acidity. But wine has a lot of things going on. It has alcohol, it has tannins, it has acidity. Tannins are those things that feel like tea in your gums that are kind of like gritty and And so
Also, as if you bite on the hoyuelo, yeah, on the bone. Isn't that the tannin
on the
feel?
on the pit, on
Yeah,
the seed,
the pit of the grape.
seed, I think it's called.
The seed,
yeah. There is tannin in that. There's a bitterness in there, and I think there's like the bitterness of tea as well.
Yeah.
And so this wine is wonderfully balanced. It has the Babbitts. Let us know what you're thinking about the wine so far. It has delicious black fruit and red fruit. It's like velvety in the mouth.
Yeah.
Actually, I made some notes here in Spanish. Afrutado.
Fruity.
Aterciopelado, velvety.
Velvety, exactly.
Tanino suave,
Nailed
soft
it.
tannins.
You nailed it.
Y acidez just. I might have copied this off the website actually, but I agree with all of it. I don't know because it's not really my way to say acidez justita.
Maybe those are my words. You never know.
Maybe that was Yoly.
Who wrote the
What's
label.
going on in the comments over here?
What's going on? So let's see.
Oh, Michael, I love that question. While you're reviewing, Michael, I'm so glad that you asked this question because it was on our list. So, is red wine chilled or room temperature? So this is one of the things that here's like laying it all on the table.
Yeah.
I find people who get really technical about wine, I find it not particularly interesting. It's not the kind of wine thing I'm interested in. I'm interested in more just whenever I'm doing a wine tasting, the audience I imagine is my mother. I don't know if Mum's watching this. It's early in New Zealand or will watch this, but hello, Mum. I imagine my mother, Julia, because my mother enjoys to have a glass of wine. You know, she liked to have a glass of wine with her at dinner, and she is an intelligent woman who enjoys learning new things, but doesn't want to become an expert in wine. So often wine tastings are pitched and it's like you're talking about these flavors. It's like, come on, it's so boring. So it's not boring for experts, but it's boring if you're not an expert. So what I love is just being kind of practical. And the answer to that question is it room temperature or cold? Is that red wine should be served at literally the temperature of an underground cave. Of a cave. Of underground. So it should be about 13, 14 Celsius. I think I have it here in Fahrenheit, 60 to 68 Fahrenheit. It depends on the wine a little bit.
Yeah.
But what happens if the wine is too cold? It will, you won't get the flavor. It's like you take an apple out of the fridge, you can't taste it, right? It's too cold. It shuts it down. If you have it too warm, it will all get flabby and fall apart and it won't have a tightness to it and deliciousness. So you want to get it in that window.
Yeah.
So what I recommend for your storing your wine is you open your, if you're not going to drink all of this in one hit, say there's two of you at home and you like to have a glass of wine a night. There's 6 glasses in here, right? So you're going to open your wine, you're going to have it over 3 nights. So what you do is you open it, you pour your wine at the right temperature, but you're actually storing it in the fridge. You pour it cold, you let it warm up a little bit, put your hand around it to warm it up. You can always warm a wine up. You can never cool it down once you've poured it, right?
Yeah.
And so you pour it, and then what you do with the bottle is you get one of those little vacuum pumps you can get for like 10 euros at a wine shop or Amazon. You pump out the air, you put it back in the fridge. White wine, red wine, everything, put it back in the fridge. By sucking out that air and by keeping it in the fridge, it will last longer. It will hold its qualities longer. Don't leave it on the bench in the hot sun by the stove. And so when we say room temperature or cold, it's neither. It is. It should be stored cold to slow down any degradation over those 3 days, and it should be served at about 13, 14 degrees, 60, 68 Fahrenheit. All right. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh, we'll have another birthday.
Woo!
Yeah, Meg. So happy birthday to you, Meg.
Happy birthday, Meg.
So many birthdays. That's amazing.
I know.
And James's birthday is coming up as well.
It's my birthday on
this
Tuesday
coming, 17th of November.
We're not doing a live stream, I'm afraid, to celebrate it, but today is the birthday live stream. So
Gina says she's already tipsy. Be careful, Gina, with that bottle of red wine that you opened.
Yeah, I'm looking at any good wines from the Toledo province? Yes, Toledo has great, that whole area. It's gonna cut. What is the? Hang on. Okay, I'm gonna Google this. Yoly, you can entertain the lovely people while I. Vino de Tierra de Castilla y León.
Oh, another birthday actually.
Yeah.
Well, coming up. Harry Melendez. I love that surname, Melendez. Don't you love it?
Oh, do you?
Melendez, yeah, I like it. Because Menendez is like, typical, with an N, but with an L. Melendez.
Nice little twist there.
It's a nice little
Did you
twist.
change that? So you'll often find great wines from not a DO region. So you'll see the word or the letters DO, Denominación de Origen, in Spain, and I think there's 62 of them. God, I was supposed to Google this beforehand. I always get it a bit wrong. It just depends, but I feel like Paul, Fanático de Vino, you'll know this. There's about 62 of them, Denominaciones de Origen, but there's also VT, which is Vino de Tierra, wine of the land, and they can be great. So Vino de Tierra de Castilla y León covers wine from the Toledo area. And it is amazing. I'm going to pull up the Spanish wine map because I just want to double check that I'm getting that right. Because there's another region from there which I love, which is, here we go, I'm zooming in.
Ooh.
Yeah, Mentrida.
That's the one.
Is another great region.
Yeah.
That's Castilla-La Mancha more, just to the south.
Yeah.
But Mentrida, Vinos de la Tierra de Castilla León, those areas are great for wine from Toledo. Some really delicious stuff from there. There's probably going to be some comments of great wines from there. And Galicia. We should mention that. But anyway, I'm going to take another sip. And then I'm seeing if there's any notes here. 14 months in French oak. You'll often hear about American oak or French oak. This is just a way to store and age wine. The oak imparts flavors. And so American oak imparts more prominent flavors.
Vanilla.
French oak, more subtle flavors. So when you make wine, it's like cooking, right? And so one of your potential ingredients is the oak that you use.
Yeah.
For cheaper wines, what they do is they actually don't store it in an oak barrel, but they will get almost like a big tea bag thing, and they will get oak staves, the wood, and they will dunk the oak staves in the wine to flavor it. But you can always tell it's a bit obvious when that happens. It's never very well integrated. All right, I'm gonna have another sip, and then we should keep moving, I think.
It's lovely. Right. We'll buy the winery.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? What did they say? Was it Francis Ford Coppola or someone said like the best way to lose a fortune is to buy a winery? It was much more elegant than that, but
next up, Predicador.
Madrid.
Madrid.
Vinos de Madrid, great region.
Changing regions.
Well, we're gonna do what Jeff said here, and we're gonna embinar.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna check if Kike.
We're gonna use that beautiful Spanish word embinar, and it's just like pour the smallest amount of the wine of the next wine that you're gonna taste, and give it a big swirl so that it's all covering the glass.
This is
it's what I mostly do. So sometimes you can also.
So I just checked with Kike, who's the person I'm collaborating with, who set up the shop, and he said we have sold 7 packs.
Ole!
So it seems to be working. Maybe
That's
it just went through a
amazing.
weird phase. But I'm really excited that you guys are going to be able to drink this wine. And when the wines arrive, I want you to send me an email or Instagram or something. Let me know how they are. Let me know how it is. Now, oh my God, this is too late to tell. No, it's not too late. But I was going to say to tell the Babbitts to not open this one. Don't open this wine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, explain. You've already opened it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we do?
Yeah. I'll do the focusing. El predicador. There. Predicador.
There it is.
Perfect.
Okay. Next wine. Can I just say I'm having a lot of fun?
Yeah, of course you can.
Can
Are
I
you
just
having
say
a lot of fun?
I'd like to say that.
Oh,
I'm having a lot of fun. Are you having a lot of fun, guys?
I'm having a lot of fun myself.
And how's the video quality? After all, I look a little.
Let us know.
I look a little overexposed here, but it's okay.
No, you're good. You're good. No,
Okay.
you're not. There's not a lot of white in your
very
face or
tingly here.
anything like that. And your ears are redder and redder, but that's a mix of the alcohol, the warmth of our lovely home, and
Nerves,
yeah,
adrenaline,
and the lights.
Do you remember that scene from Sideways when he drinks from the spittoon? Great moment. Sometimes when I'm just feeling like a laugh, little micro pause, I find that scene on YouTube and watch it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You have a few of those.
I have a few. Yeah, like.
You have a few resources.
Do you have anything like that?
I'll go to Fry and Laurie sometimes.
And
Fry
watch a little piece.
Yeah, like a sketch.
Do you guys do
but
that?
I don't do that often. Yeah.
It's like you're kind of like, I need a micro pause. Nobody smokes anymore. People used to smoke when they did a micro pause. Well, some people smoke. I'm sure some of you guys smoke.
Yeah.
And you can't have a drink during the day or something like that. So a little micro pause. I go into YouTube and watch like that little bit in The Simpsons when Homer's looking at the mountains and they're like, he has to climb the Matterhorn. And it's like, you're going to climb that. And he's like, oh my God. And it's like this huge mountain. He's like, no, just to the right. And it looks like, and there's this even bigger mountain. He's like, no. And the other guy next to him is like, no, that one over there. And there's even bigger mountain. And I just like, with that 1 minute, I've like disconnected. I've watched The Simpsons and I'm back in. I want to hear about your micro pause techniques. Okay.
Lovely.
Where were we?
We just poured the predicador.
Okay. I have this large.
Yeah, I know. Shall I empty it because I can see an accident happening?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll ruin the parquet. So this wine, and I want to see if the Babbitts have said anything that don't drink the wine, not don't drink the water. Yoly just say Fry and Laurie. She did just say Fry and Laurie. She's a big fan of English humor. You are not overexposed unless you're wearing those white robes from the Paradigm. We are not wearing those. And if you guys follow along on Instagram or you're a member of our Facebook community, I'll make sure I take a photo when we've finished up of like what the setup is behind the scenes, so you can see like all this kind of setup. It's very fun. Why can't the couple open the bottle, says Jen. Are we the couple, I guess?
I guess so. I guess, yeah. You're half the couple and I am the other half.
I just enjoying reading them. So I don't know, Jen, if you're complaining that we're going too slow. We might be. Okay, I'm just going to work through. Can I just say, says Miriam, who is a member. Miriam, thank you for your support.
Hello.
I love your practical approach to wine tasting. The most fun I've had at a wine tasting is with a friend of mine who is a sommelier, but has a similar approach. Exactly. And I think that's really,
it's key.
Not everybody has to become an expert, right?
Yeah. Oh, Jen, she says that the Brigador is already open. Buy more tomorrow. Well, yeah, exactly. Just
in 2 years. Well, yes, and then in 2 years.
And then, of course,
we will explain.
Keep it, yeah.
Don't
open it.
I don't know. Majmiki says, thank you so much, James and Yoly. Thank you for the super chat. Love your videos, enjoying this live experience. You say live experience. Is this, are you watching in the future? I would love to know. That's, but I'm glad you're experiencing it now. I don't know what says drink the blue bowl, says Gino.
Oh, yeah.
It's empty now. Sorry, Gino. Not drinking that stuff. No, you're going slow. It's fun. Is that good? You're like, no, you're going slow. It's fun.
Yeah,
so it's
no. Confused. Should we go faster?
Would it be possible for Yoly to sing? I'll leave that to Yoly.
Falta un flamenco. Cynthia says.
Jeff, you just managed to make the purchase. Great work, Jeff.
Awesome.
Yes, Jeff, not Chess. Okay.
Right.
Chess on the weekends. All right. So, predicador. What does predicador mean in English? Does anyone know? What I wanted to say, though, is love the Rothko in the background. I feel like the Rothko is like a third wheel in our videos.
I know, it's going to become a legend. It's part of our partnership here, our relationship.
Really?
Yeah.
It represents
33.3 periódico puro.
I thought you were going to say 33 years.
No. It's percent of this that we have going on.
That's true. It's hard when you're doing a live stream because I'm trying to do a lot of different things. I'm trying to talk to you.
You're amazing, yeah.
But no, like
I'm just chilling.
You're doing amazing things, and I'm trying to look at this, and then when you're talking to me and I look at that, I'm like, Yoly thinks I'm ignoring her.
No, please.
Okay. We're preacher. Yes,
preacher,
Peter says preacher.
very good.
Not predicament, preacher. So this wine is based on the famous film, the Clint Eastwood film, The Pale Rider, in which I actually haven't seen.
No.
I need to see it.
I probably have in my childhood. My dad is a huge fan of westerns, so yeah, I think I've probably seen it.
And it sounds like you're not sure if you've seen it.
No.
So what happens?
I don't know what happens.
What happens in this film is that Clint Eastwood goes from being a gunslinger to being a preacher. I believe. Has anyone seen it?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. Yeah. And he's like so handsome with his preacher clothes. I kind of have a thing for Clint Eastwood.
Really?
Yeah.
Older man. So this wine, I want to tell you a little bit. I'm just going to double check my notes because I want to get this wrong.
Yeah. Don't get it wrong.
Yeah, don't get it wrong. So here we are.
Yeah, right there.
So if you have this wine in your hands right now, too late for the Babbitts.
Sorry.
If you have ordered the pack and this wine arrives, here's my recommendation. Do not open it yet. This is one of the special wines that you're going to want to age for a couple years.
Actually, I should be aging them by swirling them like constantly right now.
That's true. They're like opening them up actually.
Yeah.
Because 90% of wine that is sold is made to be drunk like that. So the whole like, I'm going to buy this wine, I'm going to age it, it's going to get better. Generally, that is not going to get better. So a wine like this guy, it's at its peak. Mm-hmm. And it's in a year, it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. So wine goes like that, then it hits a peak, then it goes down. And
it's
so
kind of like a type of wine, right? The one that you will keep and
that you will age.
Los vinos de guarda, right?
Is it guarda? Yeah, I always say it wrong. I say guardia.
Guarda.
Yeah.
Guarda.
Vinos de guardar. And so this is a wine that you want to age. And how that works is that right now, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the background of it. Well, no, actually, I'm not going to tell you that because I think we need to taste it, then explain why that is and go into it. So let me tell you the kind of story. The guy who made this wine is very, very famous. His name is Benjamin Romeo. I
mean, what a name.
Benjamin Romeo, like Benjamin Romeo.
Out of control.
Sounds like a porn star. Hope he's not watching the live stream. Hope he's not over at Yoly's parents.
Hi, Benjamin.
Yeah, hope he's not at Yoly's parents watching the live stream. So what I had read, so this is from Rioja. This is a Rioja, and he's from San Vicente de la Sonsierra, which is in Rioja Alta. Rioja is divided into 3 sub-regions. Mm-hmm. And so he's from this town, and in the mid-90s he inherits, this is what I read, he inherits a cueva, a cave, underneath the town's castle. I mean, I'm from New Zealand, and it's like, yeah, by that point, I'm sold. So he inherits that, and he starts a little personal project of making some wine.
Yeah.
And then 5 years later, he comes out with the first wine. It's not this wine. It's another wine that he has, El Contador, which is another one from the bodega. Comes out with the first wine, and it just like blows everyone away.
Yeah.
And so that's in 2000. And so what happens is that Robert Parker falls in love with the wine that he'd made. And so it blows up. And so he turns it from a personal project into an actual proper project. And he starts making the wine in his parents' garage.
Oh,
I mean, this is like a Steve Jobs kind of thing.
Yeah, I love it. It's like instead of Apple, he creates.
Well, now if you look at the bodega, the photos, it's a beautiful big thing. But he was like, oh, people actually really like this wine, and he moved into his parents' garage and started making wine.
Amazing.
And now he has a proper bodega, as I say.
Oh,
so from Power Rider, let's have a smell, and then let's have a taste, and then let's talk about the aging kind of thing.
Okay.
And then I'm curious to see, because the aging thing I think is interesting, and I do want to see what's happening in the chat over here.
Also, Steven was asking, do any of these wines require decanting or filtering for sediments?
No.
But the decanting might not be bad for this one, for example, right?
Well, I think let's cover that once we talk about the first piece. Okay. So Jen said, I think James said $50 delivery to USA. Yeah, it might depend a little bit on the state. So the price for the wines for the pack for the USA is $199. And then it's about €50 on top of that for shipping. And it's about 3 to 4 weeks shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jorge, you just bought it.
Ole.
Looking forward to those arriving.
Enjoy it.
Hola to Yoly's parents.
They will appreciate that.
Jen said, agree. Hey Welsh Tara, good to see you. Life is short, says Jen. Drink it now. I saw a mention of the All Blacks. We lost to Argentina. So let's go. Jeff, thank you very much for the super chat. Okay. Your wine tasting is great fun. Mum says it's great because there's no snobbery. Just drink the wines you love. That's what I reckon. Like. That's what we like. Wine is made to be fun.
Totally. Right.
Okay. Having a sip. Having a smell.
So swirling a little bit to aerate.
Can I go this time first?
Of course.
I get nervous about the smelling thing because you're a super taster.
But now you've seen the notes, so you're going to cheat a little bit.
No.
I'm sure.
I get red fruit.
Yeah.
I get red fruit. I get menthol.
Oh, yeah, okay. Like
herbaceousness.
Herbaceousness or like toothpaste a little bit, right? Like menthol.
Don't say that to the nice people. They won't want to buy the wines.
I love toothpaste.
I love drinking toothpaste with my meals. I love toothpaste with my meals. So, yeah, menthol, which is a very common kind of herbaceous-y kind of note that you'll get. And red.
Beautiful.
Red. All right, should we take a sip?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Wow.
I love the garnacha there.
I feel like you just said like a t-shirt. I love the garnacha there.
Because like a tempranillo, obviously, is the predominant, right? One
yes.
In Rioja.
Well, let me give you what it is. 92% tempranillo, 3% garnacha. So you got a super taster there. I love that 3%. 3% mazuelo, 2% graciano.
So
tell us what you love.
So usually, I love garnacha. I love tempranillo, but I've drunk a lot of Tempranillo. And Garnacha, I love the character of it. I love that a lot of Madrid wines have a lot of Garnacha, and it's just it's a grape that I identify
It's a
with.
really interesting
It's
grape.
Grenache, by the way, right?
Grenache.
In English,
Because it can be big or it can be kind of fruitier and acidic.
Yeah, but it speaks like, you know, like hot, like heat and like, you know, strength, and like I love it. I love
Heat and strength is what Yoly's going for. She picked a kiwi. She picked a scrawny kiwi. So this wine, when you taste it, and I'm curious to see what the Babbitts say. So when you taste it, I love this wine. And it has this incredible tension in the mouth. So you're drinking it and you're like, oh, I'm drinking an important wine here. This is why I'm going to take another sip and I'm going to tell you about this kind of aging thing.
also the acidity. You can feel it there.
Yeah, the acidity and the tannins.
The tannin is beautiful.
So this wine right now,
I think I'm going to finish this glass.
you're enjoying, yeah. This wine is actually...
And it's not ready. Like, it's not ready.
Well, I think it might be ready. So when we tasted this just the other day, here's the thing, actually. You know what happened? So we tasted this 3 days ago as a little bit of a refresher of the wines that we were going to be presenting. And it was like, this needs to settle in a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But it has been. It's the same bottle that we tasted 3 days ago. It's been under a pump in the fridge for 3 days. And what's happened now is it has evened out a little bit. But what you get in this wine is you get this delicious kind of acidity. It's like juicy. It's like you just bit into this enormous, big, juicy red fruit that is ripe, but not overly ripe. And then, so it's got that red juiciness. It's got tannins in your gums from the tea.
Yes.
And so this wine, and it has about 15% alcohol. 14.5.
14.5.
Which is quite a lot for a Rioja. And so if you want to age a wine, it needs certain characteristics. It needs certain characteristics to be able to age. So any old wine won't age. So this wine is going to age, and this is already 2018, right? So it's 2 years old. So this wine has acidity and it has tannins. Remember the tannins are that like black tea thing that kind of gets you kind of gritty in your gums.
Dry-ish around the
And
teeth.
it has a higher dryness. And it has higher alcohol content for a Rioja. All those elements enable it to be aged. So what will happen over time is the acidity will reduce a little bit and the tannins will soften a little bit. So this can drink now, but if you open this, we talked about decanting a little bit. If you open this and just went boom, I think you would find it a little bit intense. I'd be curious what the Babbitts are tasting in Madrid who have just opened this. You might find it a little bit intense, but if you leave it for 3 days, it's kind of like an accelerated aging process.
Yeah.
Because corks, wherever that cork is, allow a little bit of oxygen in. So if you leave this for 2 years, little bits of oxygen are getting in here and they're slowly allowing the wine to evolve. But if you open the wine and then leave it for a couple of days in the fridge, it's actually going to keep and it's going to change every day, which actually could be interesting as well, to open it and learn how wine evolves. Open it, have a glass, and then the next day have a glass.
Yeah.
We got some...
No, interesting. Jen Babbitt said our bottle is 2017. So
oh, wow. You got... Interesting.
There you go.
So you've got a slightly older one.
Yeah, so, it's good that they opened it.
I'd love to know what you guys are tasting.
Yeah, let us know.
Double R's of the rolls. Are we tasting the Predicador? Are we good? Yes. Good wine, but it's a while since I had one. Welsh Toro, man. I mean, that's a guru speaking. Good wine, but it's a while since I had one. Yes, we are. We're up with this guy. Tell you what. Wine tasting live streams. I love these.
It's a big thing now. Like tomorrow we're doing another one, I think. Yeah.
Are we?
We should.
I don't know. Yeah. What year is the Predicador? It's a 2018.
18 in this case.
I left you guys for 30 minutes and I can tell you're already feeling it. Makish was like, I'm off, or he or she was off and I'm back. Have you tried wine with 100% Graffiano? It's a revelation.
Nieves is asking for flamenquito de fondo to have some background flamenco music.
Oh, wow.
But
I feel like you might not hear the live stream. That can get a little bit...
It's important to hear our beautiful voices.
Yeah, it is. Next time, once we bring in the sound aspect, just checking. Massive. Jen, thank you for the super chat. Super chat for the super smellers and super tasters. And I just wanted to say, before we hit Hola Blanca, hola pareja, un saludo desde Vigo. Well,
Hola.
perfect segue, Blanca.
Very good.
So just a little update on videos coming down the pipeline. We actually had a video coming out today, but then we decided to delay it to next week because we're doing this live stream.
It was going to be too much of us for a day.
Too much of us for you guys, you know? And so that's coming out next weekend, and that's about the experience of being in an international relationship between, you know, us being international and in a relationship. But then coming down the pipeline are our Galicia videos. So Carlos, the amazing editor, if he's watching this at some point, hola Carlos.
Hola.
The amazing guy who edits our videos. We have our first, which is our Galicia video set in the Santo Estevo Parador that we stayed in. And we visited a winery called Algueira, which I say terribly. And the wine...
good, perfect.
Did I do that well?
Algueira.
Gorgeous. The wines from Ribeira Sacra are amazing. In Algueira, they welcomed us wonderfully. They gave us the full tour.
Yeah.
We ate in the restaurant, and it was fantastic. So wines from Galicia, you'll know. And then we went into Cambados, and we were drinking Albarino. So you probably know Albarino, the white, which is the famous wine from Rias Baixas. Albarino is the grape. But the red wines from Galicia are a revelation. So, hola Inés. Was it
Hola,
Inés?
Inés. Yeah.
Yeah. Any towns or cities in Castile Leon soon? We might be going to do a video in December with Paradores in Leon in December.
I'm going to empinar
Unconfirmed.
here. Oops.
That's a lot of sherry to
I
empinar.
know. That's okay. Do. Actually, what I should have been doing is pour one and then to the other one, to the next one.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, I know.
Not COVID friendly, but we're cohabitating.
We're out of
so.
practice because we don't drink so much anymore. So.
Yeah. Don't tell them. So Amelia says, I haven't ordered the wines, but I'm enjoying a Jack and Coke.
Ole!
Ole tu. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Let us know on Friday how the red tastes after a few days breathing. Yes. Yoly, there's a lot of people who want you to sing, Yoly.
I know.
And she's feeling the pressure. I'm not going to influence... up to her.
Maybe to say goodbye.
I honestly prefer dry red wines. I can't... So here's an interesting thing, just talking about dry and while Yoly's prepping the sherry. Talking about dry and sweet. There's a sometimes happens when I go to a Madrid restaurant and they'll be like, I'll be say, how is the wine? You know, what wines have you got? And they'll say, do you want dry or fruity? And this is a misconception because they think, or they believe, I think when they refer to fruity, they're thinking sweet. So a wine can be dry and fruity. Some of these wines we've had we'll be talking, they're dry. We're talking about the red fruit. So you can taste of red fruit and be dry. So fruity is not the same as sweet. So there's dry and sweet, and then fruity can be in all of those things.
Yeah.
So don't think dry and fruity are different things.
And
They're
in
not.
Spanish it's the same, like afrutado.
Claro.
Yeah.
Claro, but there's a little bit of a thing they'll often say in restaurants here, when I'll say, ¿qué vinos tenéis? And they'll be like, ¿queréis
Seco o afrutado?
Afrutado. It's like, bueno, a lo mejor seco y afrutado.
Podría ser.
Podría ser. Mimi, thank you for that super chat. Thank you. And I love that dancing thing. I don't know.
How can you get that?
I don't know if you guys choose that or if that's automatic.
Amazing. What is it? A pear? It's a pear. It's beautiful.
I want to hit Mike's question here. Is there much wine from Asturias, Cantabria? Well, from Asturias, there is great wine. There is actually we drank wine when we were in Asturias last time in Cangas. Oh my God, there is wine being made in Cangas de Narcea, and really interesting. Northwestern Spain is kind of like the revelation of red wines as well. There's a lot of a growth in that area around that, and it's also more protected against climate change. And also, I think when we think Spain, we think big, full-bodied reds, but people's drinking habits are changing. People want slightly lighter wines often and less alcohol. And so the northwestern Spanish region wines are getting more and more popular. So we'll have to do a tasting on those as well.
Right.
All right. Sherry.
Wow.
Can I just say a big shout out to the fact there's 350 people here? 350 people. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for
watching.
Thank you for
dealing with the fact that we had technical issues and we were in an Uber at 8 p.m. That's amazing. It's literally amazing. Check out, and I say, check the Instagram if you want to see images from that. And I've pinned up, if you're curious about what we're drinking, or if you're in the States, you want to buy these wines, there's a link, there's a pinned link, pinned comment with the link.
Yeah, eso es.
Boom. Sherry.
Boomba.
Woo! All right.
Shall I show the bottle?
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
I can tell we're on the sherry because my fingers just got sticky by touching a little bit.
Immediately. Just by it being close to us. It's sticky.
I realize, guys, there's a little bit of a light issue there where the light kind of hits it. Okay, there we go.
It's good.
We got it. Can I just give a high five? Equipazo.
Ole. He's having fun, man. I can tell.
Oh, I enjoy the company of people who love Spain.
The high fives are rare. That's all I say.
I don't want to do a kiss. It feels a bit too much.
No.
Yeah, that's for the end. after Yoly sings. So, where were we? Sherry. So here's the thing, Yoly. No. So here's the thing, is that when people think sherry, and I know a lot of people on this call. I know a lot of people on this live stream. You're aware of sherry.
Too much Zoom.
Yeah, too much Zoom on the Zoom call. Yeah. Did you get the password? I know that you're thinking sherry is maybe that sweet stuff grandma drinks at Christmas. Now, actually, do you want to grab that sherry thing?
Yes.
So most sherry, actually, we have a sherry thing that we're going to show you. So most sherry is actually dry, not sweet. And in Spain, and when we talk about sherry, it must come from the sherry wine region in Spain. Legally, if you can't find it.
No, it was here. Remember, like I put it.
It's probably
here.
like in my pocket.
Yeah, I put it on the table, so
we can't find the sherry thing.
Around here.
So we want to show you some colors, but if you're drinking sherry that says it's made in the States or made in Australia, legally it's not sherry. It's not the right thing. So sherry has to be made from grapes grown in the sherry region broadly. It's a little bit outside that in the south of Spain. And for sherry to be sherry, it must be made in 3 cities in southern Spain, in this region. There's Sanlúcar de Barrameda, El Puerto de Santa Maria, y Jerez de la Frontera. I love saying it with all the and the G. And so sherry is made from there. And so this sherry is from a bodega called Lustau, and it is bone dry. It's a palo cortado. Look at that color. And guys, this, if you haven't loved sherry and you're like, I don't get sherry, I hate it, it's sweet, it's disgusting, you need to get this wine. You need to get a great sherry. It's dry. I'm going to have a sniff now and tell you what's going on here, because these are some of the finest wines in the world and they are so undervalued. When you go to wine expert like sommelier websites, they are freaking out about sherry. And the bottom fell out of the sherry market in the 1970s because it was like, ooh, sherry, that's like sweet stuff. Not at all.
No.
All right.
One of my favorite wines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about your love?
Well, I just love how different it is and how you can like taste years in it, you know? So sherries can be so old and they're so affordable. Like you get really good quality and you're drinking a wine that is, you can't really tell exactly what year it is because the system that you use to make sherry means that you can just say like an average, right? Like, oh, it's like 50 years sort of thing, you know, like that's the first, but then you mix so many years that, but it's like, really old wine.
It's from your region,
and it's affordable.
As well.
And also it's connected to flamenco, of course. So flamenco and sherry go hand in hand, and I just love it. And my friends think I'm pretty weird because I love sherry, but it's becoming trendy again now.
Often on the first Devour tours that I would lead, we would go to a sherry bar back in the day, sort of 8 years ago, and it really divided people.
La Venecia.
We used to do a flight of sherries on our Tapas Taverns and History tour, and in the busiest bar in the world and in the bar that hates tourists. It was a nightmare and it was wonderful. And so we used to do a flight of sherries, and sherry really divides people. So you can go from the very pale color, which is fino and manzanilla, looks like a white wine, all the way up to colors like this.
Yeah.
Right?
And darker.
And darker, and oloroso, palo cortado. So there's this full spectrum, like a rainbow of colors of sherry and styles, and most are dry, not sweet. And all the dry ones are made with the same grape. So you could get a sherry that is pale straw color, and it's made from Palomino Fino, and you get this guy from the same grape. Because the key with sherry is not how it's necessarily grown, or that is key, it's how it's aged. And so literally in the winery, and the sherry bodegas, the sherry wineries in Jerez in the south, are called cathedrals. They're these huge places. Remember that scene from the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they've got the Ark and they're pushing it through that enormous kind of like cavernous kind of warehouse, and it's just going to disappear? That is what the sherry bodegas look like, the place where they age this stuff. And so they put the wine in barrels, and then what happens is, because of this unique microclimate that is in Jerez on the Atlantic, this is why it can only be made there, a veil of yeast develops on top of the wine. And that yeast kind of gives it literally is like a sort of a yeast layer on top, and that gives it certain flavors. And what happens is that for some sherries, they stay like that, and the yeast protects it, and so it's a white wine, and it just looks white. For others, the yeast dies off, or they kill it off by adding more alcohol, and then suddenly this wine is exposed to the oxygen, and it changes color and flavor. It's amazing, the process you say. And what they do with sherry doesn't have a year on it. You won't see a year on a sherry bottle, because how they do this aging is they keep topping up year after year the same barrels. So this sherry, theoretically, you will talk about the oldest, what you were referring to, you'll talk about the oldest year. This sherry could have 40, 50, 60 years of wine all blended into it. It's amazing, which I believe has to do with the history of the English demand for sherry wanted to have a consistent quality. They didn't want variations each year. And so if you blend your wine with multiple years, then you can protect from seasonal variations. But that's become how sherry is made. And so this wine is a palo cortado, which means a cut stick, right? And so when they're making it, they think it's going to become a fino, which is a white, a pale colored, sherry wine.
And they're marking it with palos, with sticks like that.
And then they smell it and they're like, no, there's something here.
Oh,
We have to send this somewhere else. Yeah. And so they add alcohol to it. They cross it, palo cortado, cross stick. And then it develops into this. So sherry masterclass. Can I just look at that? I don't know if that's working. Sorry, Yoly.
No.
So if you see there, I'm not sure if I'm looking right. I gotta.
No, your hand.
Hand is on it.
Yeah.
Over there. Got to get the lighting. There it is. You can kind of see that. It's a cross stick. That is the palo cortado. And so these are one of the most fascinating sherries that there are. There was a lot of spiel about sherry.
I know. How you guys are still there?
Yeah. Is anyone still on the live stream? Yeah. There's like 3 people. Yeah.
You got excited.
It's just now us and the Babbitts. All right.
So nose.
Talk us through it, Yoly. Super taster it. It's a couple of people have asked why you're coming up with an intelligent answer there, Yoly. Why no tapas with your taste? Because of the delayed. I mean, didn't even think about it. We're just like literally trying to get like a digital connection here. But next time.
I'm getting vanilla. Is that normal in a sherry? Vanilla, and I'm getting like chocolate.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm getting chocolate.
It's true. Kind of mocha.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Nuts. A little bit of dried nuts. Wow.
Nuts, or I would kill for almonds actually. Yeah, next time a few almonds.
A little trail mix next time. So I'm just checking my notes to see what we said about this.
Did we nail it?
Well,
we kind of nailed it.
Yeah, we kind of nailed it. I did want to just say, well, let's have a sip. Let's give the people what they want, right? Ooh.
Very similar the nose, no? Like how it smells and how it tastes.
But I would say bitter in the nose, bitter in the mouth.
Better in the mouth. You get more. It's like a meal almost. Like
I love that. That's such a great description of sherry.
I'm like eating nuts right now.
Yeah,
It's like
and it's
beautiful.
so long. Did you see how it just changed?
Yeah.
I had it, and you were like meal, and then 10 seconds after tasting it, suddenly
you get
I got
almonds.
You get this big almond thing coming at you. Babbitts. Are you guys getting this? Are you with us? Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh my God. We're gonna stick with this a little bit
I just
longer.
love sherry. What can I say?
But this is great. I mean, this is a magical.
So but what's the grados, the sherry?
19%.
That's the thing. That is kind of dangerous. You need to be a little bit careful, guys out there. Drink sherry.
Jumping Jimmy Jet. The sherry sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, wonderful. You saw it in our eyes. So Lustau, I'm just going to read this because I don't want to get it wrong. So I was looking at some of the history. I always find the history really interesting. So the winery started by a guy called Jose Ruiz Bermejo. Started making wine with his family plot in 1896. A little bit of a similar story to the predicador, the preacher. He would make it and then sell it, and then in 1940, but he would be an almacenista, which was they would make wine and sell it off. But in the 1940s, Lustau started making their own wine, and we're gonna have another sip because it's good. This is a really famous sherry winery.
Beautiful, love it.
Oh my god! You see what we wrote here, or what we copied? Did we get it right? Nutty and dry with nuances of vanilla, mocha, dark chocolate. You got the chocolate.
Ah, you go.
I think I got the mocha.
You mentioned mocha. You don't know what mocha is.
I don't know what mocha is. Is that coffee with chocolate?
That's so embarrassing.
What is mocha? Dry and concentrated. This wine has a long and elegant finish. I mean, that like when you taste that,
the length.
So one of the things I have done actually some quite advanced wine courses, which I feel always weird saying, but I have. And one of the things when you judge,
he's almost some here.
Pre-some. So when you taste wine, one of the things about quality is the length of the finish, how long it stays with you, and it's just there. Yeah. And this is so long. Yeah. This is so long.
It is very long. So long.
So, oi!
Yepa.
Little play on words there.
I know.
Little jeu de mots. Okay. I'm gonna check the chat.
Yeah, go for it. Preparing.
What kind of tapas would you eat with sherry? I'm actually glad you asked that, Alan. Because I forgot to mention. So, embinar.
Yeah, I'm gonna embinar and I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Properly.
So when it comes to sherry, depending on the sherry, it can fit in different meals because they're so different in the range. So if you have a fino or a manzanilla, that's more of an aperitif drink. They're crisp, they're light. You'll see a lot of people in southern Spain drinking that with maybe some fried fish on a hot day. Something like this, you could have it. You could have this with like bulltail stew.
Yeah, like a proper meal. Yeah, like a main course, meat.
Because I think a lot of people think sherry is pre or after the meal, like pre if it's dry and after if it's sweet. But this is for like a big stew. Yeah. So I would have this with meat. I mean, but it's so wonderful. You can have it on its own, but then it will stand up to other things. So you could have this, like you were mentioning nuts. You wanted some almonds. Yeah. You could have that. Yeah. Or you could, put me some bulltail stew, and I'm anyone's.
Oops, sorry.
Lily, thank you for becoming a member, Lily. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Are you guys still in lockdown? We kind of.
Not quite sure today, really. Well, the rules are, but there is a curfew at midnight, which we had trouble respecting last night, actually. And we had to really jump into a taxi very quickly and get home because it was like, whoops, we have 10 minutes to get home, The fear, but everyone was out in the street.
People are crying watching us dump that wine into the thing. You're celebrating your taste.
Guys. This is, tastings are a bit like cruel like that.
We're gonna Ora for bulltail stew. Yes. Can I get an hola? Ben Smith. Hola.
Hola too.
Okay, I'm just catching up a little here. Some people crying because we're not.
I'm sorry.
Welsh Taro said the relationship between sherry and Britain cannot be overestimated. Without the Brits' taste for sherry cream, a lot of great bodegas would not exist. And I don't think that's an understatement. I'm just going to grab my book and show you what I got as an early birthday present from Yoly.
Wow. History of wine.
So for the wine fanatics out there, Paul. Matt, I don't know if this is going to show. Sorry, Yoly.
No, it's okay.
So.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, just Yoly bought me that book about the history of wine. I'm really interested because it's so interesting how, kind of what you're saying, Welsh Taro, how, wine or a lot of things, food. There's a great book on bacalao, how it can really trace history and you can follow history through a kind of a thread, whether it be wine or food or things like that. So I'm really excited about that book. It looks like a good one if you're interested. Okay, so where's the orange and olives for the vermouth? Jen. It's like a knife in the wound. So we were walking to do the tasting.
Let me do something now.
All right, Yoly's gonna get it. Have you got? And we can get ice.
Yeah. Why not?
You want to bring?
But I have because we were out of oranges at home, so we put it on the way.
Bring the knife and the plate. Do you mind? Thank you. So you could put me some bulltail stew. Did I say that? So here, Jen, is the orange. So we were like, what would be really nice for the last wine? When things are like all going to go really well, and you're like, the thing you're worried about is like, where do we get the orange? And then 15 minutes later, you're in an Uber wondering if you're going to make your own live. How things can change very quickly. But we do have an orange because we thought it would be nice to pair it with this here. Yoly just grabbed that. So it's just you and me, guys. It's just personal now. So anyway, I'm going to give you a little bit of background about the vermouth and kind of keep a little look on the chat here. Does it snow in Madrid? No, it doesn't. Lily, thank you. We love you guys. We booked a Devour Wine and Tapas tour last year. Amazing. You'll be back. So I'm excited about the vaccine. I'm sure you are all are too. So, okay, vermouth. Now, I don't know how to pronounce this. Yoly's not here to make sure it focuses on the bottle, but I will make sure when Yoly comes back, we show it. It's called, how would you pronounce this? Zeccchini. Zeccchini, I guess? Zeccchini. So what is really interesting, this is one of the first vermouths to be made in Madrid. And I know there's a lot of, not mythology around vermouth, there's a lot of fascination around vermouth. And I understand that because vermouth is just such a wonderful way to start a meal. And we're having it last because it would have killed all the other wines because it's kind of so sweet. But what's interesting about this name is it looks kind of Italian. So the history of vermouth is, vermouth started in Italy, in Turin, in the 18th century. It was literally because back then kind of alcohol and medicines were kind of combined, and so there was a sort of a pharmacist who was mixing wine with different things and created vermouth. Vermouth is really just a fortified wine, so a wine that has alcohol added to it and has different herbs steeped in it, like a tea is a steeped thing to give it flavor. And the color comes from caramel, which gives it the sweetness and the color. And so what's happened is that vermouth came to Spain. Wait, we lost an ice cube. Vermouth came to Spain with Italian immigrants in the early 20th century. Italian immigrants moved to Barcelona. And so vermouth really took off there. They started making vermouth, this Italian drink, and it became a big deal. In Barcelona, the fact that vermouth is kind of not more common in Barcelona, but some of the oldest famous wineries for vermouth, Hola, are in Catalonia, reflects this history. So vermouth was a big deal at the beginning of the 20th century, and people would have it after church. They would go to church in Barcelona, and then they would go for vermouth afterwards, which reflects the idea of vermouth as a pre-lunch drink. Mm-hmm. Now, vermouth then came inland from Barcelona, from Catalonia, and came to Madrid, say 30, 40 years later. This bodega, this winery, this vermouth winery started in 1940, which reflects kind of what I've read has been where really vermouth started to kick off in Madrid. And it started, and vermouth has gone through phases. There's been periods, there's a great book I have on vermouth. I have it up here somewhere. If I see it, I will pull it out and show it to you. And it's about the history of vermouth. And so it started off as something in Madrid that actually, I believe at some point it was like the football fans would drink vermouth. And then it kind of fell out of fashion. When I moved to Madrid in sort of the 80s thank you, Yoly. The 80s I didn't move to Madrid in the 80s, but in the 80s and 90s, or say the 90s, vermouth really fell out of fashion. It became considered like a, just kind of like what the older men would drink in a bar. But then in the last sort of 10 years, it's really made a massive comeback. So there's this huge number of different vermouths. But this guy is an original. Shall I just hold this book up? I get nervous, guys, when I talk for a long time without checking the live stream because I feel like you probably all just left. Because
they're still there.
Because I'm saying boring things.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, I don't know whether to use the wine that I already poured or should
We'll do both. So I don't know.
Do both?
Do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is available in English, but if you're interested in reading about vermouth and you speak Francois Monti is his name, and this was amazing because the vermouths are different in France, they're different in Spain, and they're different in Italy. They're generally more bitter in Italy. And anyway, that was like a little masterclass.
I know, geez.
I'm just going to catch up. Simon, thank you for that super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you. And welcome to Maribel, who's become a member. That's amazing.
Maria Isabel, did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Maribel is Maria Isabel.
It's a really beautiful name.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And I don't just say that to members. Yeah. Okay. So Fidoville said, I had a great day taking a long walk around Barcelona and taking little vermouth breaks along the way. Yeah, I mean... William, great to see you here. Positive energy. I haven't found many Spanish vermouths here in Texas, but I did discover vermouth Perucci, Gran Reserva, which is very yummy. I drink it over ice. Perucci is actually the vermouth that is appointed by appointment to the king, to the royal family.
Ah,
Yeah.
there you go.
So if you're a Republican in the Spanish sense, you might not want to drink it anymore.
Uh-uh.
Why no tapas? Everybody,
that.
yeah. Well, obviously, it's funny when you do these things and you don't realize certain
Yeah.
things. I wouldn't have thought that, but yeah, we need tapas next
We need
time.
tapas, yeah. Well, you know, we did this in the sense that it was like a wine tasting, like just
Yeah.
wine.
But
you
we
know?
should do that next time.
But yeah,
Would
and
you-
reduce the number of wines maybe. Otherwise, you will be with us for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Get ready.
We're on the last wine though, guys. So I just want to say, Gina, great question. Is vermouth enjoyed after a meal or during it? Before. Only before.
It's
You
a
shouldn't have.
aperitivo, yeah, aperitif. Very much.
What happens if you have it with a meal? What would that feel like?
Well, I guess it would just cover everything, right? Like it's just really strong. It would
Yeah.
dominate
Yeah.
too much, right?
Yeah.
So we have a smell.
Smell. Actually, well, you know what? I'm gonna have to pull rank here. I
Yes.
need a bit of both because
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
when you're tasting wine,
Yeah.
you don't want it too cold because, as we say, it will cover some of the aromas.
And yeah, and I had a smell, and I was like, I just can't identify anything there.
Ooh.
So, yeah, it's
Oh my
like,
god!
wow.
I just felt like
So
my
different,
eyes
yeah?
start to roll back in my head.
Yeah.
This is really good. This is a really good vermouth, guys, and I'm not just saying that because it's the only vermouth I have in my hand. It is like
Wow.
I almost
Just
get
perfumey and gorgeous.
it,
and
yeah, like orange peel.
cinnamon.
That's what I say because I almost get a little chocolatiness as well.
So gorgeous. You want to eat it more than drink it, right?
It's like Christmas in a glass.
Yes.
Oh, it's spiced.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's sip this one and
Yeah.
then we can just sort of hang out with the other one.
Yeah. Yeah. It tastes like it smells, right?
Oh man. Oh man.
You get the bitterness a little bit more, obviously.
The ajenjo.
The ajenjo.
Wormwood. So vermouth, the word comes from the word in German for wormwood, which is an ingredient in vermouth. Little known fact. And so
Little known fun fact.
yeah, is that a fun? Does that count as a fun fact?
I wouldn't say it's a fun fact.
I find that fun. I feel like there's people out there. It's a niche fun fact.
They will. Paul will find it funny.
Paul Fanatico de Vino, that is a fun fact. You probably knew that anyway as well. You probably
Yeah.
know. You should probably be leading this live stream. So this has got, so it's on the nose, it's like spiced, it's sweet, there's orange, but in the mouth, it's perfectly balanced. See, with vermouth, and someone mentioned Perucci before, Gran Reserva. I like the Gran Reserva, the normal one. I find I don't like the blend because every vermouth is a blend of different herbs and botanicals. This one has the perfect balance between sweet and bitterness. And that is, I can drink this kind of slightly room temperature. Some vermouths,
Yeah.
if they're not good, if you drink them room temperature, it's like, oh, it's too cloying.
Yes.
But this stuff is bang on. It is really good.
It is yummy.
This is the by appointment to this royal household, Zecchini. This is amazing.
It's
So
gorgeous.
so I just
happy we have
have.
that one there. It's-
Sorry, did I
Can we
interrupt?
keep it?
Yeah. So I just want to say, what do we have at La Hora del Vermouth, Yoly?
La hora del vermouth. So it's aperitivo time, and it's at 1 p.m. And
After
we're
church?
gonna after church, of course, before lunch, and we're gonna have a few olives. Olives go great with it. I have a friend Teresa who hates orange, and so the poor thing is like, you know, if she goes to a bar and gets a vermouth, she needs to remind them not to put any orange in it. But it's perfect with orange, and it goes back to that cinnamon again. But yeah, so aperitivo, so it just, olives and any encurtidos, like any
pickled
pickled,
things.
pickled veggies, pickled
And pickled peppers.
Pickled-
Peter Piper picked a pick of pickled peppers.
onions, little onions that are pickled.
Like a
because
Gilda would be great with that
Gilda
as
would
well.
be great, yeah.
I think what is wonderful about the vermouth hour or the vermouth time, hora de vermouth,
Hora de
is
vermouth,
vermouth
vermouth time, yeah.
Vermouth time,
Yeah.
yeah. Get a T-shirt, print those.
Is it vermouth time yet?
Yeah. It's vermouth time somewhere. There it is. So I think what is key, and I said this in a video once, that vermouth tastes like hope. It tastes like the future. And so when you go out with friends in Spain and this is what I want you guys to do back home. If you buy the wine pack, or if you just buy a bottle of vermouth, wherever you are, you pour it, your friends come over, when there's no COVID, etc., or you're out and about, and you have it, and you're like, you have something yummy with it, some potato chips, some boquerones in vinagre, some pickled anchovies, some olives.
Vinegar, I would say, is important.
Yeah, because
it's
that
an important accompaniment,
it
right?
contrasts lovely.
Yeah.
And you sip this, and because it has about 15% alcohol, and you're like, you can just feel the concerns of the world shedding.
Lift.
And you know that all the fun of that meal with the red wine that you're going to have, or the white wine, or whatever, is still to come. And so vermouth is like Pavlov's dogs for me, for like, it's on.
It's on. Good times are coming. There is this place in Madrid called Taberna La Concha.
La
Concha, where they make this wonderful vermouth cocktail. And it's like out of control. I mean, it's they spray gin, right, on the glass. Yep. They pour the vermouth. It's their own vermouth, right?
It's their own vermouth. And they put Campari in as well. And an olive and an orange.
Wow. So dangerous. Like, I mean, 2 for me is enough.
So...
Cheers.
Salud to you guys. I'm going to catch up on a little bit of comments here. Have you ever seen snow in Madrid, Yoly?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So, I mean, up in the mountains, there's this range, and it snows every winter. And then in the city, like every couple of years. It used to snow a little bit more before, not so much anymore, but yeah, every couple of years you will get snow. It doesn't last for a long time because everyone starts just kind of playing, and so it goes fast, very, very, very quickly.
I'm just checking if Kike's okay. Well,
but it's really cool, Madrid with snow, and people do go to the mountains and ski. So like massive amounts of snow actually in Madrid. It can happen. And then you get the heat as well. The
heat, we get that. I was just checking Kike, who's making sure that the shop is working. Amelia asked, this is a little while ago, so I'm way off here. Do they deliver to the USA? Yes, we do deliver to the USA. So if you click the link in the pinned comment above, you can see the wines we're drinking, and you can buy them if you're in the US. And they will be there. So Welsh Taro said, do I see Lustau Sherry there? Yes, you do. So yeah, guys, if you are B Lynch, thank you for that super chat. So best vermouth. I mean, this is amazing. Somebody said, are you for real, to somebody? So guys, I don't know what else to say. I mean, Welsh Taro, guys, please check my comment on your Alpujarras trip. I will do. Wow, you can ask it here. So if I feel like I'm just looking down the thing. I think we've answered a lot of them. Do you prefer wine or beer? I like a good beer, but I also like...
I enjoy... Beer I will have... Beer I will have by default, right? And so I tend to like just drink it and not appreciate it so much, although I should. And then wine, I am always more conscious, more aware when I'm having it, right?
With wine?
Wine in general, yeah.
So I have a big question now, just to like get serious for a sec.
Shall I leave the room?
I need to speak personally. What are we going to order for dinner? Pizza?
Because there's no way we're cooking today. I've already been through this mentally, and I think pizza it is. I am, what do we say when it's like, me encanta. I am something for pizza.
Obsessed with pizza?
No, something for.
I'm
like something bad. Like I'm a loser for pizza, but it's not loser.
I'm a loser for pizza.
No.
I'm
will come. No.
Give us the answer, guys.
Sucker.
There it is. There it is. Amazing. If you are interested in buying these wines and you're in the States, you can click the link above in the pinned chat, and you can buy them there through the shop. They'll be with you in 3 to 4 weeks. Then you can rewatch this wine tasting, and you can go through and taste them as we are, or save them up for meals or whatever it is. If you're not in the States and you're curious if you can maybe get them wherever you are, send me an email at james@jamesblick.com. That's james@jamesblick.com. And I don't know, this has been fun, right?
Yeah, I know.
Has this been
It's
good?
been so great. Yeah.
Kind of just wanted to keep going.
I know.
You know? I just keep staring at that black box.
I know,
and I'm
but like also we've been live for like almost 2 hours now, so I hope that you're not too bored with us.
Yeah. Are you, me bored with you guys, or are you bored with me?
Then with us.
I'm having fun with you guys. I
I
with
love
Yoly
you
and
all.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Love you all, guys. I don't really know what else to say. I would love to keep hanging out. Faltan un par de orujos.
Un par de
dice
ojos,
Alberto.
yeah.
Sorry, James, not for you. It's hard to follow the chat sometimes and know even what we're talking about. But
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this, says Lilith. Fun times. This was great. I mean, we should do more live streams. For members, we do a monthly live stream. There's another one coming up. For the Venga, no, hang on. Which one is it? Venga, let's go. Live members, we do.
Yeah.
There's only often about 10 of us on there. So that's a more kind of, I guess,
Yeah.
personal one where we like what's going on.
And come join us. It's less hectic around the comments, so we do get to comment on more subjects and more questions, and it's really, really cool.
And if you're curious, you've got my email there if you want to have any more information. And it's just been great to...
Nieves says, croquetas para cenar.
Are you going to cook them? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We need a cook here, Nieves.
Croquetas para llevar. So it's been great. I've really enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed it, Yoly?
I've loved it. Yeah.
You were going to sing.
Shall I sing? And then we say goodbye?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you should.
I'm gonna sing. I sing.
I feel bad. Yoly's going to tell me off afterwards.
I know. I sing terribly. Just letting you know. But I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna sing some tangos. Tangos, not the Argentinian. Tango is a style of flamenco as well. And so I'm gonna just sing in that style, a little bit of flamenco for you guys. Que tenga reja de bronce, que tenga reja de bronce. Me voy a construir una casa que tenga reja de bronce. Pa' que tú pases fatiga y a mí tú no me toques. Pa' que tú pases fatiga y a mí tú no me toques.
Ole! La Yoly!
I had to do a little bit of improv there because I actually forgot the lyric, but I think the idea
What did you say?
was across. I'm gonna build a house with a massive fence. So that it's kind of nasty, but I'm not meaning it. Yeah.
She doesn't mean it for you guys.
So that you can see me, but you can't touch me.
I like that.
No,
It's fun, you know. Modern.
A bit of a flamenco in there.
Flamenco has tough,
flamenco,
but I kind of like that. You can see me. It's like I think people will respond to that. You know.
Yeah.
Yoly's feeling a bit nervous about having had that as a lyric now.
I can't speak anymore. Ole, bravo. Thank you, guys.
Guys, we're going to end. Massive thank you. Also, a super chat from Stephen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen.
That's a big, well, I don't know, I'm not going to go on, but thank you very much. That means a lot. It's been great to be here with you guys. We'll do more of these. As I say, we do the monthly for members. If you want to get that wine pack in the States, click the link. Any questions, james@jamesblick.com. And we're going to go and order croquetas.
Or pizza.
All
See
right.
you soon.
See you guys.
Ciao.
Oh, this is where you're looking and you're like...
I know, and I'm like already patting James.
So this is where you're like looking at us and it's like not ending. And I'm like, you know when you're on the Zoom call and you're trying to like look like the person and click the thing? But anyway, okay. Now I think it's ending.